Nice.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Gail Watson, President and CEO of Women Speakers Association, the go-to place for innovative leaders, change agents, and women with a message to connect, collaborate, and grow their visibility worldwide in order to fulfill her mission. As part of this mission, we are excited to introduce you to Voices of the 21st Century, a book featuring a collection of female voices rising up to guide, to educate, and inspire. And here with us today is our featured author, the lovely and beautiful Paige Wilhide. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Awesome. We are excited to have you too because you are definitely a reflection of, the subtitle to Voices of the 21st Century is a bold, brave, and brilliant woman who shares her powerful story. And you have a very cool story because it's all about the dreamer and pursuing those dreams. So diving in a little bit about your story, first of all, what attracted you to share your story in this book?
I wanted to share my story in this book because I think it's important for all of us to rise up and to use our voices. This is a pivotal time in history for women's voices. And we all need to collectively share our stories and tell the world what we stand for and what we believe in, and have the world know, hey, we're here. We are powerful, and we are, like you said, bold. Like, we are bold women, and it takes a bold person to share your story vulnerably. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be part of this.
That's awesome. And give us a little bit of insight to your story and how it's impacted your life, because you really take on something a lot of us can relate to in that pursuing of our dreams and maybe not quite accomplishing them.
Yeah, well, I want to encourage everybody to be bold enough to go after your dreams, no matter what they are and no matter how big they might seem. I went after a dream of mine, and I'm not going to give away the ending of my story because you have to buy the book to read that. But the ending is really cool. But I went after a really big dream of mine that I had since I was a little girl, and I couldn't shake it. And that dream was to be on Broadway. I grew up on stages and I grew up performing, and I was doing professional acting by the time I was in middle school and getting paid to be an actor. And it was the coolest thing ever. But there was still this thing in the back of my head that said to me, you need to go to Broadway. You need to go to New York and try it, because if you don't now, you never will. And I think so often we get scared that we're not going to get this thing that we want so bad, and we become attached to this idea of the dream. And so my story is really not necessarily about like going after something and getting it. It's more about what happens when you don't get it, and how do you pivot, and how do you make your life how do you change your life and make things look different, but still hold on to like the essence of that dream and the core of the reason you wanted to go after that thing.
I love that because you are fantastic at what you do. And, you come across, every time I've interacted with you, you come across with just an infectious smile and radiant personality. And you're so happy. And it's really even hard to imagine that, wow, you get disappointed or, things don't always go your way. So, how you really present yourself is truly quite amazing. What I'd like to know is, from a reader's perspective, what would you expect them to get from your story? What's their big takeaways?
The first thing I want readers to feel is inspired. I want people to walk away from my story and say, oh, I have this dream that I've put in the background. I put it on the back burner. I haven't really focused on it, but it's always kind of been nagging me in the back of my head. I have that thing that I've always wanted to go after. I want to inspire the reader of my story to go after it, chase it. Who cares what is going to happen? But the act of chasing it is the thrill of life. Like that is what life is all about. And it's about going after what you want and maybe not attaching yourself so much to the outcome and letting it evolve as it will. So I want you to feel inspired after you read my chapter.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think you will. You are a true voice of the 21st century. You really, really are, Paige, because you just have that freshness of go for it. If it feels unsafe, you're really challenging the status quo. And I appreciate that in you, and thank you for that as a leader for women, especially your generations and the ones coming up before you, to really embrace that go for it attitude. I really, really like that. So words of wisdom, because you're jam-packed full of them, I know. From your repertoire, what would you like to leave our listeners with today?
I want to leave you with today this one piece of advice, and that is don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be scared of it. So often I encounter people who have sort of created smaller lives for themselves because they don't think they can get the thing that they really want because it's too big or it's too scary or someone else went after it and they didn't get it. So what makes me think that I'm going to get it? And the real thrill is not necessarily in the getting it, it's in the going after it. And just to give you a little hint towards the end of my story is maybe you'll get that thing after all, but it'll just look different than you thought it would. So dream big. Don't be afraid to go after what you want.
Wow. Powerful. All right. I know there are some people listening right now going, really loving you. And if you're listening to Paige's message and you're connecting with it, maybe there's someone in your life right now that is our up and coming leaders who needs that message, who is pursuing their dreams right now, who needs that security or that knowledge that, you know what, you're not alone when it comes to going after your dreams and all the different emotions that face you. Just as you were speaking here, Paige, I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool? Because a lot of names were coming to my mind that I thought it'd be so great to gift your story away. And would you be willing to write, if somebody wanted to get your book directly from you, would you be willing to write a personal message to somebody in that book?
Absolutely. I would love to write a personal message. If you have somebody in your life who is a dreamer or somebody who's scared of going after their dreams or somebody who's maybe like coming out of college and in this place where they're a little bit uncertain about where their life is going to go, my story is perfect for that person. So feel free to find me. You can go to paigemedia.com/book. And there you can order a copy of my book and just tell me whatever you want me to write or who you want me to write it to. And I am happy to make a personal message to that person in your life and inspire them to go after their dreams.
Thanks, Paige. I mean, we as people today, we need this message more often than not. We need to be reminded that it's okay to go after our dreams. And I want to really thank you for, sharing your vulnerability, sharing your truth to do that and making it okay. And for that surprise ending. So,
I can't wait for you to get it.
All right. You are a rising star that's flying very, very high. Knew that when I first met you, and so appreciative that you're in this world today because you are a bright, shiny light. And I think you would be phenomenal out there. If there's anybody else listening, if you have stages or podcasts or anything, this message that Paige shares is representative of our leaders for today. This is our leaders, and they need to be inspired more, and they need to know it's okay to go after their dreams and go big, right? Go big or go home.
Yes, there you go. There's the other message I want you all to take away from this.
Go bigger, go home.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Paige, thank you very much. And to our listeners, I want to thank you for joining us. And I welcome you back again to hear from another amazing woman who shares her powerful story. Thank you so much for joining us.